what identification do undocumented residents need to show to obtain a driver's license, and how will that affect who is able to obtain one? Mary Chey and then Victor Ramirez.
Well, Maryland has a slightly different approach to this in terms of its specification in the legislation, as I understand it, but we have a more generic approach. We need to have proof of identity, age, district residency of more than 6 months. And because there is variance among the states about exactly what documents will be required, we have left it to our Department of Motor Vehicles to make the prescription of exactly what is needed. Our law doesn't go into effect. It has to be signed by the mayor, but it doesn't go into effect in any event until May 1st, because that's when we'll have the resources to handle it. So between now, or when the law is finally passed, and May 1st, we expect the DMV to come forward with further requirements, particular requirements to meet these general requirements.
Victor Ramirez, same question.
Thank you very much. It's true. Our legislation actually, it's focused for Maryland residents. You have to have paid Maryland income tax, filed Maryland income taxes for the two preceding 2 years. For the two preceding 2 years, and the comptroller's office actually gives you a certification letter to make sure that that is the case, and they email MVA before you can even make an appointment to go to apply for this type for this type of driver's license. You must, and in addition, you must obtain proof of your identity. That has to be a valid current passport, two residency documents, a residential lease, a utility bill, a bank statement, and then you have to pass the Maryland driver's exam, like anyone else.
John Fury, we got this email from Ben in Silver Spring. The 9/11 hijackers were here legally, and if they were to be here now, they could get licenses and board planes even under the most restrictive laws under consideration. Calling them illegal is making a totally inflammatory argument to make the opposition seem pro-terrorist. What do you say?
Well, the fact is the Real ID requirements were a recommendation by the 9/11 Commission, and their concern was that these 19 hijackers had somewhere around 30 driver's licenses from multiple states between them. And obviously that's a problem when you have multiple IDs with multiple names from multiple jurisdictions. And so the goal here was to try and prevent that scenario from happening again. The 9/11 terrorists, yes, they did come legally. Most of them overstayed the terms of their visas or didn't adhere to the terms of their visas and therefore rendered themselves illegal immigrants. But the fact is, as someone who knows someone who was killed on 9/11, I find it very troubling that these jurisdictions are bending over backwards to try and find ways around Real ID and trying to find ways to narrow the scope of the intent of that law. I mean, I've heard discussions about how the council is considering putting the requirements in the smallest possible font on the driver's licenses, indicating that these are not for federal purposes. Or trying to issue all D.C. residents 2 driver's licenses was a suggestion on Tuesday night. I just don't understand why the goal is to help illegal immigrants get to jobs illegally, for example, especially at a time when D.C. residents, tens of thousands of whom are desperately looking for work.